Hello, in this video, we're going to go over graphing a cosine graph. It is very similar to graphing a sine graph where we have the same type of setup or whatnot. We know that A is my amplitude. My period is 2 pi over B. My phase shift is negative C over B. And my vertical shift is up or down D based off the sine. All right, let's jump. Oh, wait, and the last thing, increments. Increments is this times 1/4. Period times 1/4. Let me just rewrite it. Increments is period times 1/4. All right, let's jump straight into it. My amplitude is plus minus 2. My period is 2 pi over 4, simplifies to pi over 2. My phase shift is negative 3 pi over 4 over 4. Make sure we put 4 over 1 on the denominator, multiply the top and bottom by the reciprocal. The bottom will cancel. The top will become negative 3 pi over 16. Next, we talk about our vertical shift. And my vertical shift is down 1. So far with all of that, we are ready to graph, and we'll get our increments in a second after we begin our graph. Whoa. That was not a straight line. There's a straight line. Okay. First thing we need to, recognize is our new midline. Our vertical shift takes our midline from 0 to negative 1. I'm going to go by 2s just so the graph, is spaced out a little bit. So I like to put a dotted line at my new midline. Next, I'm going to go find my max and mins with the new amplitude. We're going to go up 2 because our amplitude is 2. So we're going to go from 0 then to positive 1. And I'm going to draw another dotted line. One more dotted line. There we go. Then we go from negative 1, and then we're going to go subtract 2. So this would be negative 2, negative 3. And then we're going to have another dotted line. My wavelength will be between my two blue lines between my amplitude. Next, we know that my starting position is always going to be the phase shift. So my phase shift is negative 3 pi over 16. So that means I'm going to be over, we're going to be over on the right side. No, sorry, left side of this guy. So on our midline, I'm going to put it on the x-axis for now. Okay, so first we have this point. Let's do a new color. This point, which is negative 3 pi over 16. Now we need our next points, which we're going to use our increments. Our increments are take the period and multiply it by pi over 4, or just 1/4, not pi over 4, just 1/4. So then we get pi over 8. That's how many times I'm going to jump from one spot to the next spot. So that's what we're going to do. And then we're going to go find those points. So with noticing that my increments are going to be a little bigger, this guy should be over here. We're going to go every 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 for 5 total points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are my 5 total points. My starting point is my phase shift, and we are going to move pi over 8 to my next point. So what I do is I ignore the pi's, take negative 3 over 16, and I add 1 over 8, my increments. So again, this is my starting point. This is 1 point. So I add 1 over 8, which we know we're going to change that, right? We have to multiply top and bottom. We would rewrite this as negative 3 over 16 plus 2 over 16, which is now negative 1 over 16. Let's change that color so it's not getting too crazy over there. negative 1 over 16. This is my next point if you replace the top and add a pi. That's all you got to do. So then my next point here is just negative pi over 16. Then we're going to take 1 over 16, ignore the pi's, negative 1 over 16, add 1/8, which we know is 2 over 16 now because we just did that. And we can see that my new value is going to be 1 over 16, but we're going to put our pi there. Just kind of helps do the math if we ignore the pi and then kind of just put it in there at the end. Next, we're going to take that 1 over 16. I'm going to add 2 over 16. That's 1 over 8, our increments again. And we're going to get 3 pi over 16. Now, just so you know, and you're not confused, there are pi's here. We're just ignoring them for now when we add them up. This is a lot simpler to think about. Next, we're going to take our 3 over 16. We're going to add our 2 over 16. And here we go, 5 pi over 16. And there we go. Now we've gotten all 5 of those results. We're going to now graph our function. Our cosine graph starts at the amplitude. And since it's positive, it will start up. We go to that first line where our first point at phase shift and go to the amplitude. Go to the next point or our next, dash mark and go to the midline. Next dash mark, the other amplitude. Back to the midline, back to the upper amplitude, and you have completed your cosine graph. Because it has started in one spot and ended in another spot. Let's see if I can graph this a little better. There you go. It's not great, but it'll do. So that is how you graph a cosine graph and getting all 5 of those points accurately. If you have a specific question about another cosine graph you'd like me to cover, please let me know. Check out the other videos for sine graphs, secant graphs, and cosecant graphs. There will be another video that goes over tangents and cotangents as well. Hope everyone has a great rest of your day.